Hey everyone, PrinceB here. If you've seen my previous reviews, you'll notice they're all typical Japanese style anime. While I don't watch a lot of them, usually only watching one series at a time, marathoning it and then not watching anything for a few weeks, it is the type of media I prefer outside of various game reviewers. That said, I'm not a huge fan of Western animation. Something about it just never really clicked with me. Of course, I have a few I enjoy, like Adventure Time, which I still need to catch up on, and Futurama, as well as some from my childhood like Ed, Edd n Eddy and Courage the Cowardly Dog. So today we have a bit of an oddity, at least for me. While on my Tumblr I see a lot of captions from the show Bob's Burgers. At first I scrolled past them since it's not really something I'm interested in. Eventually I looked at a few and found them to be actually pretty funny. Eventually I decided I'd watch a few episodes so I could get voices to match what I was reading, and ended up marathoning the whole thing. That brings us to today's review. Without further ado, let's get started. For whatever reason, Western animations, at least the ones I've seen, tend not to have much of an overarching goal to their plot, and rather focus more on short episodic parts. As such, there's no huge goal that drives the plot. There's, well, more of a cast of characters and their various reactions and situations, making it hard for me to definitively call it the plot. But while there's probably a better way of describing it, I don't really know what it is. For this, we'll just call it the story, I guess. Bob's Burgers follows Bob Belcher, his wife Linda, and his children Tina, Jean, and Luis, and events that take place in their various lives. The Belchers are barely scraping by financially and pouring most of what financial resources they do have into maintaining their family business, the titular Bob's Burgers. The restaurant serves as one of the main backdrops to the story, but becomes somewhat less prominent further in. Each character has an established personality, and for the most part sticks to it, though they do occasionally break from this, such as Tina, who is shown numerous times to be uncomfortable with lying, is shown a few times to lie with no qualms, such as to get out of gym class. Overall, though, the characters are fairly consistent, and this helps establish continuity in the episodic series. As far as visuals go, while I'm not a huge fan of the style, it fits the show itself. Also, when compared to other Western animation, it actually has its own charms. While I'd certainly prefer it done in a Japanese style of animation, for what it is, it works, so I can't really hold that against the show. The animation itself is fluid as well, so personal preferences aside, the animation and visuals work well. This brings us to voice acting, and I'd have to say the voice acting is actually pretty fantastic. Not only do voices fit the characters, though admittedly it did take a few episodes to get used to it, the dialogue also feels like real dialogue. The characters react to the situations and other characters like a real person would. They stutter, laugh, and so on in a natural way, rather than reading back and forth like a script. The characters interrupt each other, and overall, everything just feels really natural. The VA work is probably my favorite thing about the show. Overall, Bob's Burgers was a fun show. It's fairly short since it's still in production, with Season 5 slated to come out, if I remember correctly, sometime in the fall. While some of the content is a bit more mature, there's nothing too inappropriate compared to something like Family Guy or South Park. If you're comfortable with The Simpsons, Bob Burgers is probably fine too. While Western animation isn't my preference, I enjoyed the show, and it earns an 8 out of 10. The VA work is what really makes the show worth it a look in my opinion, and when put alongside the various jokes and gags, it makes for a fun little experience. I'd have preferred more arc-based plots, but that isn't really something that would work here, so for now I'll have to settle for the Season 4 two-parter and various references to events in other episodes for establishing continuity, which is something I actually find very important. Overall, though, I had fun with the show and look forward to seeing where it goes in future seasons. As always, I hope you enjoyed this rather short review. Let me know your thoughts below, like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Until next time, this is Prince B, signing out.